right, sir, you Jason Jones? And in cause number 23, DCCR 0390, Mr. Jones, you were previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon, and I received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
We have.
Yes, Your Honor, we have.
And are there any additions or corrections?
Not from the...
Whoa, pause here. What you're witnessing is the calm before a legal storm. Mr. Jones is no stranger to the system. He's already a convicted felon, and now he's being called out for more than just illegal possession of a firearm. The judge is laying the foundation to question whether this is a simple weapons case, or something much deeper.
No, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Jones, I've got some serious concerns with placing you on probation in this case, because not only are you a convicted felon, it doesn't appear to me that you were just carrying a gun from one place to the other. You had two guns, chambered, 16 rounds in a magazine. You had extra rounds under your seat. You had a backpack with marijuana, another backpack, another suspected bag of marijuana in your cup holder. You had I just feel like there was more going on here. A scale. People don't carry around scales. People don't carry around that kind of marijuana. People don't carry around those kind of guns unless they're dealing drugs. Period. And so the fact that you...
Let's break this down. 2 loaded guns, extra rounds, multiple bags of marijuana, and a scale. In the legal world, this isn't just bad. Optics. It's what prosecutors call circumstantial evidence of intent to distribute. And when the judge says people don't carry scales unless they're dealing drugs, that's not just commentary. That's a subtle nod toward probable cause for drug charges. Ask yourself, should probation even be on the table here?
You are already a convicted felon and out dealing drugs makes me wonder why we're giving you probation. Does that make sense? Are you working?
Well, I have an interview tomorrow. I had to reset it. I had to go in today to get my ID and my social at Jefferson nursing home on Folsom. But reset it for tomorrow.
If I test you this morning, you gonna have something in your system? Let's double check that. Have a seat in the jury box.
I think you've been on a drug patch.
Yes, I'm on a drug patch. But
We're gonna double check. I just want to be extra sure.
That drug patch test just became the make or break moment. Negative results? That's a small miracle in Mr. Jones's favor. In court, clean tests can tip the scales, especially when the judge is on the fence about granting leniency. But let's be honest, this case isn't just about what's in his system, it's about what he was carrying and why.
Before I figure out what to do. All right, Mr. Jones, you tested negative. Obviously, that's a good thing. So I'm going to give you this opportunity today, even though I don't love the facts and kind of what was going on, and give you a chance, hopefully, to change your life, and you'll be able to live like the rest of us and not go to prison, okay? So I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Sentence you in accordance with your agreement to a term of 10 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections, but probate that for 5 years. So you'll be on probation for 5 years. You're ordered.
Did you catch that? 10 years in prison, suspended. He's walking out today, but that 10-year sentence is hanging over his head like a legal sword of Damocles. Probation isn't just a second chance, it's a test. One slip and boom. He's in TDCJ Orange for a decade. Would you take that risk?
Pay a $500 fine and to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. One of those is going to be, and I know that you're 37 or 38? 37. All right, you need to get a few things. You need to get a driver's license or some type of ID. You also need to get a GED, and that's going to be part of your probation. That's only going to help you get better jobs so you can be more successful. You need to get that process started within 30 days. So talk to probation. They'll let you know what you need to do. Most of it's online, but you need to get that done, okay? If you do everything that you're supposed to while you're on this probation, then for all practical purposes, your case here in court is over, and you will be able to serve your sentence out while you're on probation. The other side of that, though, is if you violate any condition of probation, you can be brought back into court and you'll be facing that 10-year sentence that you've already agreed to. Do you understand? I'm handing you two things. The first is the certification showing that I followed the agreement that you made with the district attorney. Sir, be quiet. That I followed the agreement that you made with the district attorney, and so you waived your right to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Obviously you know this, but I'm required to read this to you. Possession of a firearm, because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk to Mr. Rojas. You just need to have a seat here in the courtroom. Probation's going to call you up when she's ready to go over your paperwork. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And just like that, the courtroom rolls on. One man's future hangs in the balance. Another case is already queued up. That's the rhythm of docket day in criminal court. But here's a question to chew on. Is our system built to rehabilitate, or just process and punish? Keep watching.
Probably so. All right, sir, you're Michael Brasher.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Brasher's case is set for trial to begin with jury selection on June 23rd. Obviously, Mr. Brasher, you were in custody last time you were here, and now you've made bond. And since you've made bond, I hate to move, your case is getting old, but if you've made bond, I expect you to try to hire a lawyer.
That is exactly what I brought here I brought some paperwork to present to the court if you see it. I want to ask for a continuance for that same reason.
So here's what I'm going to do, Mr. Brasher. I'm going to take your case off the trial docket and move it to a designation docket. I'm going to reset it about 30 days. You need to try to get someone hired before that court date.
Okay.
If you do, we'll give you a written reset notice today. Make sure you bring that to whoever you hire, and they'll tell you what to do.
Okay.
If for some reason you cannot hire someone before the next court date, then I'm ordering you to visit with at least 3 lawyers. They all charge different amounts. They have different payment plans. Bring me back the names of the lawyers that you've talked to so I know you're trying, and then we'll discuss your options.
I have an attorney. I've spoken with him. He's given me a quoted amount. That's why I brought some of this stuff
Okay.
to show you.
I don't necessarily need to see it. I just need to, I'm going to see what you can do in the next 30 days. If for some reason, and I know you just bonded out, so if you possibly need more time, I understand. When you come back, let me know. If you haven't hired him or anyone else, make sure you visit with plenty of attorneys. Bring me those names, or if you have one picked, have that information. If you've made payments, bring me that information, and then we'll discuss your options, okay?
I can absolutely. Would you like his name now? Or
Who is it? Yeah.
Mark Gonzalez of Corpus Christi.
Okay. All right. Then make sure also that if that's who you hire, that Mr. Gonzalez knows that your case is old and that we will expect whoever you hire. Hold on a second while I'm talking, please, Mr. That's okay. Make sure whoever you hire understands that your case, if it's not worked out, is going to be set for trial pretty quickly because
Yes.
it's old. And so a lot of attorneys think they're going to get on and they'll have plenty of time. It's not going to be like that. They're going to get pushed. So you be sure and tell them that, okay?
And yes, ma'am. We've talked about that too.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
He understands that as well.
Okay, if you'll step over here in front of the clerk, she'll give you that reset notice. Thank you.
Copy of that. You say here that your notice.
And also, until then, Mr. Matuski, you're obviously still on the case, begin to prepare possibly for trial, but I will take it off the trial docket at this point, just to give Mr. Brasher some time.
Yes, ma'am.
On Rochelle Manuel, it's a sentencing.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no, yes. Here, let's reset it. You get her stuff.
You're right here.
So she can get her stuff ready. But I need something to tell me what I'm doing.
Just to remind you, Judge, this is when she pled out, and you gave her some time to get her affairs in order.
Right.
And just told her to show up today.
Okay. And
She
I
pled-
somewhat recall that, but
She pled to 3, yeah.
thank
So there's
you.
no report, Your Honor,
Okay,
Yeah.
because we really didn't agree.
right. No, I understand all of that, but I don't have anything to tell me what I did. I just can't.
I can probably say it all. I've heard it a few
You
times.
probably, yeah, you wanna switch spots for just a minute?
No.
Okay, so you're Rochelle Manuel? And Ms. Manuel, you were previously here and entered a plea of guilty to aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury. Have you been arrested for anything since that time? All right, then any reason not to go forward with sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Parker? Wait, I'm not done yet.
You that excited to go?
I still got to say the words. All right, ma'am, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent. You understood the nature and the consequences of that plea. So I need this printed out and everything. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury. Sentence you in accordance with your agreement to a term of 3 years in the Institutional Division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. Yes, ma'am?
Question, would it be from the date of the incident or the date of the indictment?
It's, if you were in custody on this case, even before it was indicted, you'll get time for it. So if you were arrested and then you bonded out,
No,
It occurred in the correctional facility. Your
she's,
Honor.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
she's
yeah.
asked for time she won't get credit for it.
oh, no, probably not.
So it happened in April, I should get credit from April to whatever.
It's gonna be when we had a hold on you or when the indictment was, whichever kind of came first. Okay?
It's fine.
So, you'll get credit for that. I am making an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. Oh wait, or is there a deadly weapon or no?
No.
No, Your Honor, I don't believe it's alleged. No, it's not.
It's not, so I'm gonna retract that. All right, so I'm going to hand you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you waived your right to appeal. I'm also handing you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk to Mr. Parker, right?
They've been good.
Good. All right, good luck to you, ma'am. You can go back with the bailiff.
I only had one other case, Judge. And
Almeida Miles,
I don't think she's here. No. She is? Okay.
she had a warrant. Okay,
I haven't had a chance to talk to her at all.
I'll reset it, and now you know where she is.
Thank you for that.
See. Mykesha Victoria? Good morning, ma'am. You're Mykesha Victoria?
ma'am.
Miss Victoria, did you get someone hired?
I'm still going with Rice Kempler, but I was looking at 3 other lawyers to see if like they could take, because I'm on only 250 on him, and I was trying to see if Boston, I was like, it's less than a mix of me doing 2 different jobs because I can't really job, so one just kind of.
Okay, so did you talk to some other,
Yes, ma'am.
so are you gonna be able to afford any of them, you think? Or
Yes, one of them supposed to be calling me back today at 2 p.m. So hopefully I could be able to afford them because they, plus the money that I have put up already, they only want 110. So I'm praying I could be able to go with them.
Okay, so, who's the one that you've talked to?
Parker LaPlay, that's who I talked to.
Okay,
409-832-2300.
okay,
And I had talked to William Wickerson, 409-212-9655.
all right, so if I give you one more reset, you think you'll be able to get someone hired?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna reset it one more time, try to get one of them hired. If it's not gonna work, call some others, bring me those names, and then if you can't do any of that, then when you come back, we'll see what your options are, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for doing what I asked you. You can step in front of the clerk. Mr. Macon, on Gracie Cassidy,
That's going to be a plea, Your Honor.
I'm ready for it. Good morning, ma'am. Are you Gracie Cassidy? And Mr. Macon, will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Cassidy, in cause number 24 DCCR 1480, you're charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon on prohibited place, and that's from March 28th of 2024. And how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you actually did what they charged you with? I have here on the computer some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Macon?
Yes.
Do you fully understand them? And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal?
Yes.
And it looks like the agreement that you've reached is for a 4-year deferred adjudicated probation. You would have a $500 fine and be required to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. Is that your understanding? Do you, and it looks like the state, as part of that, is going to dismiss cause number 24 CCCR 1480, correct?
That's in the misdemeanor court. I'm not discussed it with the attorney.
Do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? I'm required to ask everyone. State tenders number 1.
No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Ms. Cassidy is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of that plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to restate.
Deferred adjudication alert. That means Miss Cassidy won't have a formal conviction on her record, as long as she plays by every rule of probation. But here's the twist. Even without a conviction, a violation means the judge can still hit her with the full sentence. The stakes? Quietly massive.
Your case so that we can get a pre-sentence report done. That'll give me more information about you, your case, and then we'll come back for sentencing at a later date. On your way out of the courtroom today, you need to stop and talk to probation, and she's sitting at that desk right there. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you'll just talk to her, she'll tell you everything you need to do.
Let me interrupt 1 second. Part of this is a forfeiture of weapon.
Oh,
It's not,
it's
not hers, but it involves another person. I still make sure it's not getting out.
If you want to make sure, file a motion
Motion.
that has the specific information about it, and we'll sign it at sentencing. Okay, just stop and talk to the lady right there at that desk.
James, do you have discovery? I need the discovery.
Yeah, you may want to hold on to it for a second. All right, it went away. Good morning, you're Simone Dobbins. And Mr. Rojas, will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment?
She will, Your Honor.
Ms. Dobbins, in cause number 24 DCCR 0504, you're charged with the state jail felony offense of driving while intoxicated with a child passenger under 15, and that's from December 9th of 2023. And how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you actually did what they've charged you with? I have here on the computer some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Rojas? Do you fully understand them? And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney, that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal? And it looks like the agreement that you reached is for a 2-year term in the state jail prison, but that would be probated. You'd be on probation for 4 years. You would be ordered to pay a $500 fine to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation, including having an auto ignition interlock device on any vehicle that you drive. Is that your understanding? Do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. Any evidence that Ms. Dobbins is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of your plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case so that the probation department can do a pre-sentence report. That'll give me more information about you and your case, and then we'll come back later for sentencing. You need to stop and talk to probation on your way out of the courtroom today, and she's sitting at that desk right there. Okay, see you back at sentencing. Good morning, you're Joseph Gilbo.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Gilbo, you were previously in court and entered a plea of guilty to impersonating a public servant. I've received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report? Are there any additions or corrections? Comments? Explanations? Please?
So obviously we're talking about Mr. Gilbo's statement in the PSI, Judge. I spoke with him about.
Can I get everyone to please hold it down a little bit?
I spoke with him about this morning, and what he's telling me this morning is that the statement he made to the probation department is his version of events. I explained to him that based on it, my advice would be to, if the court will allow him to withdraw the plea and set it for trial. However, he wishes to proceed with the agreement and will be placed on probation.
Well, you can't say you didn't do it and get probation. It doesn't work like that. Because when you were here before, the clerk swore you in to tell the truth. And when you stood in front of me, I asked you a couple of very important questions. One was, were you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And the second one was, are you pleading guilty because you actually did what they charged you with? And you answered yes to that. But if you didn't actually do what they charged you with, then you need to plead not guilty and let a jury decide. You can't say I didn't do it, but I don't want to go to trial. Does that make sense? Either you did it or you didn't do it.
I did do it.
Okay.
The statement that they made was some of the stuff wasn't true.
Well, if some of it wasn't true, that's fine. But either you impersonated a public servant for some amount of time, ever so slight or whatever it was, either you did that or you didn't. Did you do that?
I did.
Okay. Any reason not to go forward then? All right then. Anything else with regard to the pre-sentence report? Mr. Hoffpower, Mr. Rojas, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gilbo, I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However,